the first family of comics become the first family of cheese. This is Fantastic Four on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. It's the 1994's Fantastic Four episode. I've got a very special guest coming in live from Boise, Idaho is Sam. Oh wait, you're here all the time.
I'm not very special, and I'm getting past the point that I might not be a guest anymore.
I think you might be on this show. I think Jackie's on this show too.
Yeah, dude, Sam is you should just introduce him as the hairiest man alive.
Who, Sam or our special guest?
My brother is more hairy than me.
Yes, Sam's brother Ben is quite hairy.
That's true.
Coming in live from Miami, or just Florida. You're in Florida. This
Fort
is
Lauderdale.
Brad Schlager, also known as Martini Shark on Twitter. Make sure to follow Brad at Martini Shark. He's a good follow. Lots of good bad movie information. You are an authority on particular bad movies, especially the business side of certain bad movies, particularly Fantastic Four. What do you have to say for us, Brad?
Well, don't know about so much being an authority, but I appreciate the gesture nonetheless. Yeah, I cover a bit of the movie business over the years for a number of outlets, and as a result, I did a lot of digging into this particular movie we're doing, and came up with a lot of dirt, a lot of fun background stuff, and pretty much explains why it's such the classic misbegotten movie that nobody sees these days.
And you basically run around freelancing all over the internet, writing about bad movies. You've had work published in The Federalist, and that I know of, and a couple other really good, prolific.
That's one of them. Yep. The latest one of my latest outlets is going to be at one that's called Cheap Seats View. It's a new one that started up with a few people I know from my contacts over the years. But at the Federalist, I covered Sharknado of all things, being a serious social political website. They still break their judgment occasionally and let me publish there for items like that.
Well, nothing's more culturally impacting than a shitty movie on Sci-Fi Channel,
I feel like Ian's earning being on TV is socially relevant.
Yeah, it affects the future of mankind every time that Tara Reid gets her hand bitten off by a shark flying through an airplane.
Every time she wakes up, not so drunk that she can go to work.
Exactly.
What? I'm still drunk. Oh,
well,
wait.
You don't
what?
have the sort of social responsibility that Tara Reid has, though, Jackie.
Communist was defeated by a man...
Communist? He's like a superhero? A red guy with a fucking cape?
I am communist.
Yeah. Huh.
He was defeated by a chainsaw going through the ass end of a shark as well. So,
okay.
It's very important. But we're here to talk today about 1994's Fantastic Four, produced by Roger Corman, directed by Oli Sasson, and starring Alex Hyde-White is the only character or the actor's name that I could.
Jay Underwood.
Oh, Jay Underwood, sure.
And I'm gonna remember Rebecca Stabb because she made the Time Machine hit list last night.
Did she?
Oh no!
Did she give you secret boner?
Oh, it's no secret now. The secret's out.
But there is no secret boner with you, Sam.
No, there isn't.
No.
You're quite proud of all of your...
Well, the Time Machine hit list is an exclusive club, and Rebecca Stabb is on it. I'm not saying she's top 10, but she's made the grade that if I had a time machine, I wouldn't use it to change the world, win money, I would travel back in time and have sex
You would
with women
not go back in time and defeat communists. You would bang ladies.
I would use it to... I would also have to bring, my phone with me so I could be man of the future. Because it would be really...
Oh, my God.
Oh, what? If you were in 1980 or 1992 and you saw a cell phone, you'd be like, wow, this is man of the future.
So that you could go back in time and show ladies dick pics.
Well, no, I mean, you have to have some sort of angle to convince them that...
You're not going to have cell reception. You're not going to have the internet on your phone if you travel back in time.
Angry Birds will work.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That's true.
To a purely Cro-Magnon version of ourselves. 20 years ago, we just didn't have the thought capacity to understand how fucking video games work, you fucking moron. You're not going to bang any ladies by showing them Angry Birds.
You just need to get
yes,
to the
he
line.
Is. They're going to
we
be
have
like,
to
that's so
save
cute.
the future. And they're like, how do we do that? Well, first you have to let me put my sex on you.
But first, watch this. I'm going to flick this bird into some buildings.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose your
You're
shit.
gonna lose your shit. Yes.
Fantastic Four. It's,
Oh my god.
I just thought Rebecca Stab
Martini
was real
Shark
hot.
is not actually a shark. I would just like to
Oh,
let everybody
good.
know that he is not a shark with a white tuxedo on. I saw him over video chat, ladies. He does sound like the Marlboro Man, but he is not a shark with a white tuxedo on.
Brad, why don't you go ahead and get started on this one? You know, you've listened to the 0.5 episode where Sam spoke about the history of this film. Is there anything you want to share with us about it before we really get into the details of this film?
Yeah, I got a little bit of background as to probably why it became this piece of obscurity that hasn't really surfaced, because I did a lot of research for one of the articles. One writer I did speak with was telling me that...
What? You actually spoke to one of the writers?
Well, no, he's, another writer. He's covered the movie industry. But he had some insight. He worked on another project with the guys that were in the special effects, if you could call it that, the special effects team from this film. He said they went into the movie, the special effects artist told him, with the expectation of about a $2 million budget. $1 million of it was coming from the German conglomerate, the Constantine films, and Corman was going to be putting up $1 million. And when they showed up on set, the first month or so, they were going to be working on the Thing costume and such before the actors showed up. And he said on the first day of shooting, that's when Corman made the announcement. He wasn't putting up $1 million. He was putting up his share in the use of the sound stages, equipment, crew, things like that. So all of a sudden, they found themselves with a severely cut down budget from what they expected.
Uh-huh. So they were expecting actual working capital, and he was like, here's $1 million worth of tools to use.
Pretty much, yeah. His million was on the ledger, not on a paycheck. So,
Yeah, and that sounds perfectly like Roger Corman. When Sam was saying that he put up $1 million, I was like,
I thought that he was paid $1 million, like that.
Yeah.
Eichner gave him $1 million to make it happen.
I see. Well, either way, and it's an astounding figure for a Roger Corman film for him to be putting up that type of cash.
I thought that the production cost around that time, that's about what it cost him to make a picture, which isn't very much money.
It is not in the grand scheme of things, but yeah. Either way, he apparently wasn't going to throw down on that, huh?
I think he was.
No, it was a little bit of a surprise from the crew. You know, the one other story I could tell you is I wrote years ago at Film Threat magazine, and that was published by Chris Gore. He was a fixture around Corman Studios. Just to give you an idea of Corman's budgetary restrictions, the movie right before they shot this was Carnosaur, his Jurassic Park ripoff.
Right.
Chris Gore told a story where one of the guys from craft services showed up on set with drinks and food for the cast and crew, and Corman blew a head pipe when he found out the guy bought name brand soda and not generic, and fired the guy over that soda decision. So that gives you an idea of Corman's work.
Not Cocta or Guarnica Antarctica.
Guarnica Antarctica.
Some of our more culturally diverse sodas that we drink on this show. Are we drinking anything exotic today?
I'm having water.
I'm having water because I'm fucking hungover as shit.
Oh my god, I didn't stop drinking until 6 o'clock last night.
Oh, what did you do that for?
Because we were celebrating, and...
Celebrating the BSU win that you didn't watch?
Well, you know, Hawaii had some sweet, sweet rainbows on their outfits.
Yeah, if you aren't paying attention to the college football, the Rainbow Warriors of the University of Hawaii have decided to choose the sweetest jerseys ever to exist. They're flamboyantly gay, completely.
I liked them. I thought they were cool.
It's great. It's fantastic.
That's what they were wearing in the 70s.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I flipped over to that game briefly, and I thought I was seeing some outtakes from Can't Stop the Music.
Yeah. Okay, so on with the background of Roger Corman yelling about cheap soda.
Cheap soda.
Well, that was pretty much the cause of all the movie derailing. Because Chris Gore, he actually produced print edition of Film Threat back then, and they did a full cover story on the movie. And he even recanted that while he was on set and talking with the cast and the crew members and such, that he had that palpable feeling of failure built in at that point in time. Because everybody was excited, everybody was wound up, and he just said, no, it's not going to work like this. This is not a superhero picture. This is actors wearing spandex costumes and things of that sort. So he kind of knew at the time this was not going to be what everybody was anticipating.
Yeah, because at that point, Batman had already sort of made the game changer on costume design.
Yeah, and it was, everybody pretty much knows the backstory about them needing to make this movie on the quick. I mean, they started shooting on December 28th, 3 days before their deadline on the rights. So, I mean, that's how serious, quote unquote, they took this production. So it was kind of a feeling they had at the time. I mean, the cast and crew were all behind it. I mean, they threw 100% into the work, but, and that was kind of one of the things I was researching too, was how much was the effort legitimate from the studio standpoint? Because, as I said, everybody working on the movie, even Ole Sasson, was dead serious about what they were doing. And to the extent, actually, that after the movie was made, there was, some promotional tours. They were going to comic book conventions, things of that sort. Chris Gore actually brought them into San Diego Comic-Con. He was one of the first ones to actually bring a movie into that floor. And there was a lot of effort behind it. And I'm thinking, well, if Corman the Skinflint is putting this kind of effort out there, I mean, why would he, cut trailers and things of that sort if they weren't serious about releasing this?
Because I would think that they'd have to be, because I think when I gave you my notes, that's my estimate of what Marvel gave them to bury it. Just kind of reading around, it would have to be about $4 million. And I think that they had to look serious enough that Marvel would actually give them enough to cover all the costs in order to bury it.
Yeah, and that number's been bouncing around. So I've seen a couple articles. Some said 2 million, some said more. But I spoke with another writer, Terrence Brady. He had done a little bit of interviews with Ole Sasson and others, because I was curious about this. Why so much effort into this supposedly doomed production? And one of the things I found out, there was a website for the actor who plays Ben Grimm, and he had it's an archaic website, but his diary from his acting days is still up, and he said that the actors were the ones that went on the PR tour. They did that themselves. They got their own PR reps. They funded their own tour because they were so convinced this was going to be a big movie.
Michael Bailey Smith is the actor.
Correct. I'm sorry. Yes. And they were the ones. They undertook it on themselves to go make these promotional tours. And when they went to Constantine Pictures and said, "Hey, can we get some money for this? Can we do this? On behalf of the movie?" All the studio did was give them some 8x10 glossies to autograph, and that was it. And that kind of tells you everything right there, where everybody that worked on the movie weren't clued into the fact that the studio itself wasn't real serious about it.
It's gotta be heartbreaking to somebody, actor or director or anybody involved in such a production, that you throw yourself into this to make something that you truly believe in, and especially following the success of Tim Burton's Batman franchise, that you think that, hey, maybe this is it. That this could be my real thing that gets me into to put me in front of America, essentially.
Yeah, if you're Alex Hyde-White, you're like, this coupled with the momentum I got from Biggles' Adventure in Time, I could be on Days of Our Lives next week. Who's to say?
Well, your girlfriend Rebecca Stab was on Days of Our Lives a couple times.
Yeah, she was on a lot of soaps. She was a day player. She's got an episode of about everything.
Yeah, but I mean, long story, it's got to be just gut wrenching when you realize, like that article that you shared with us a couple weeks ago, Brad, the one in Playboy about Manos, The Hands of Fate, where the child actor spent an entire summer filming this film, is, oh my God, I'm a movie star, and then goes to see it on its premiere, and the audience starts laughing at her. It's got to be awful.
Yeah, and they have actually said as much. I did find one interview, I think it was LA Magazine, about right about the time that the first official Fox release came out. They revisited this version then. And they all kind of expressed that same feeling of betrayal. They said, why didn't they let us in on it? Why didn't the studio tell us this was going nowhere, doomed from the start? Because they were, look at the cast that's predicated on the budget. You've got a character performer, you've got a childhood actor, you got a former Miss Nebraska, and a former football player. Those are your four leads. And they all felt this was going to launch careers. This was just going to be their breakout. And that's why they put so much effort behind, after shooting, behind the movie. They wanted this to work so badly, and they It really felt like after the fact that it wasn't going anywhere to start.
Well, let's get into this bad boy. First, I want to ask us, why does this movie stink? What is the primary problem with this film?
I didn't write a lot of questions down.
Everybody's going for an Oscar.
Everybody is going for an Oscar. But before, usually I lead off and I burn a question. I'm going to lead off with a statement. I enjoyed this more than any of the other Fantastic Four movies by a great deal.
100%. That's fantastic. Lee, awesome. Four-ish. Why is it bad? Why is it a bad movie, though? What makes this movie be on Stinker Madness?
Because Ben has underwears on. Not pants, underwears.
He should have underwear on.
That's what he wears in the comic book.
The fucking new movie with no pants is
The
stupid.
no pants is
Why does he
awful.
not have a penis in the new movie? We're not talking about the new movie anymore. We're done with the new movie. Ben Grimm wears pants. Deal with it, Jackie.
Well, I think
No, it's fine that he has pants. I'm just saying, dude, they're like a pair of underwear. Everybody else gets a stretchy
Because he's
suit.
got to get into action.
I know. Everybody
be-
else gets a whole suit, though, and he gets a pair of underwears.
to accentuate his rockness.
Yeah, he's more rocky. His legs are made of rock as well. Well, I bet you those legs are strong.
See, you've got a problem with Jack Kirby right here, not a problem
That
with
is
this
true.
movie.
You got to, and
Yeah.
he's Jack Kirby is the man.
I'm
She
just
also has a
saying-
problem with every wrestler ever because those are wrestler pants. This is what
Yeah,
wrestlers
but-
wear.
They were so loose in the back that sometimes, depending on how he was standing, it looked like he was carrying a load.
He
and not a
probably
rock
is. He's
load.
probably got quite a craggy ass crack. So
It looked like he crapped his pants, like he was carrying an extra rock down there.
all right. So Jackie's primary why this movie failed is because Ben Grimm, the Thing,
I
has
would
tiny pants.
say that it's not why it failed, but if I was to point out one critic, because I think they did a really good job with the Thing, I think it looked very good. If I had one quibble with it, I think they should have shot him to make him look bigger, and they should have made him stand on a box anytime he was with anybody else.
Okay.
Yep, that's true.
So that's your why does this movie
No,
stink?
that's just a quibble.
Why does this movie stink, Sam?
I don't know. I would have liked this when I was 13.
Okay. So
I
you
think that
have
there's-
no problems with how this movie was made.
I'm
going to say it was better than the other one.
The visual effects at the end are not very good, but I think they're on par with anybody else. They're on par with the Lawnmower Man, which killed it like a year or 2 years before that, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
We just recently watched Johnny Mnemonic, and I think the visual effects in Johnny Mnemonic are quite worse than the visual effects in this film.
Had Evie Arad watched it before ordering it destroyed, he might have at least gone direct to video with it, maybe.
Sure. Why not?
As part of a children's package. Try to get some of that money back.
I have a very specific problem with this film. Johnny Storm, the actor Jay Underwood, stinks on ice.
Yeah,
Why is he white?
because
The character is
white.
fucking white.
You just don't know anything about the Fantastic
Nothing.
Four. Not
Well,
one
I
thing.
thought that he was black in the comic book.
No,
Nope.
he's black in that one movie that nobody watched except for the three of us and Brad. That's
Oh.
the only time he's ever been black in the history of all of the Fantastic Four.
And largely due to the fact that he and Sue are brother and sister. So
Yeah.
in the new movie, this even presents more problems.
Yeah, she has to be adopted because of the new film, which is purely because the director of the new film, whatever the hell his name is really good friends with the guy from Chronicle. This guy has to be Johnny Storm. Well, he's black. I don't care. He must be Johnny Storm.
And I'm afraid to make Sue Storm black.
Yeah, and I'm afraid to make Sue Storm black because the granddaughter of the owner of the NFL football Giants will kill me if I don't put her in this film. Anyways, the guy that played Johnny Storm, Jay Underwood, in this film, wow, bad.
Dude, he was annoying.
Bad acting.
I did not like The Boy Who Could Fly.
I did not like The Boy Who Could Fly. I don't think I'm a fan of Jay Underwood. I am no longer looking forward to the Star Trek Voyager episode that he appears in.
Oh.
Which I barely look forward to Star Trek Voyager episodes at all. But specifically not that one.
He's like the friend that's on cocaine that you're like, why are you so excited? And
He's-
they're like, yeah. And
He's
you're like,
shit- and then his breakdown scene where he's like, "Oh, this is crap!" Oh, and he like throws a temper tantrum with his arms is amazing. It is very poor acting. Like now, just go for it. Give it all you got, there, Jay Underwood. And he's just like, "Oh, we're monsters. We're freaks of nature." Oh,
I would imagine that that's one of those set situations where they're high-fiving each other after a cut gets called. Like, everyone thinks they're really nailing it. Is
yeah.
it too early to whisper Oscar?
And Alex Hyde-White had to just been shaking his head, going, "Woof."
Yeah, he's like, I do this every day, people, and boy, boy, are you guys really stinking it
I
up.
think his signature scene was when they were first discovering their powers. He does that grandiose sneeze performance that was
fire
pretty much
booger.
Disney Channel. Yeah, he's like, oh, and he turns around and heaves, and it's just like, wow, that was... I haven't seen that since the Disney Channel marathon of Zack and Cody.
Oh my God.
Zack and Cody. All right, well, let's dig into this beast. Final thoughts before we get into the meat and potatoes of this show?
Yes. There was nobody good looking in the show.
Sue Storm.
Sue Storm is hot. Rebecca Stab.
I'm a lady.
Ow, Miss Nebraska. What was it,
Agreed.
Brad? Miss Nebraska?
The guy who we just mentioned, Michael Bailey Smith, he's buff. He's
Nah.
got huge arms.
Nah.
Not doing it? All right, well.
He looked
Coral
like a
muscles.
weirdo.
Sam put a lady on his
Time
Time
Machine
Machine hit
That's
list.
hard to get.
High praise.
Yeah.
Very high praise. The
No.
only other woman I know on there is Terry Garr,
That's the top of the
1972,
list.
and
Number 2 is Sean Young, 1984.
Sean Young, and Vagina Lady from Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone.
No, Sharon Stone's not on there.
I thought Sharon Stone was
Sharon
on
Stone
Time
doesn't
Machine.
make the time.
See, that's how high praise it is to be put on the Time Machine hit list. Sharon Stone from 1984 isn't even on it.
Elizabeth Taylor, 1958, on there.
I'm just saying that I didn't think she was all that in a bag of cat's ass. I just
A bag of cat's ass.
shut up.
Hello, Amazon. I would like to order a bag of cat's asses. Well, that comes with free shipping.
Because you can call Amazon on the phone.
You can. It's actually 1-800-AMAZON. Eat shit, Sam.
Eat shit, Sam.
Yeah.
She wasn't that great.
I'm
whatever.
getting you a bag of cat's asses for Christmas
All
now,
right.
you dickhead. All right, so the film starts out with a very dramatic title sequence. Space and the Worst Brothers. We should mention the Worst Brothers of all time.
Yeah, you know, those
The
guys,
music
because they
boys.
went out of pocket for $6,000 for that soundtrack, and that was something.
Where was the choir?
I meant orchestra. They didn't use a choir, sorry.
They,
I-
grandiose is the word I would use.
Oh, yeah.
I like the score. I thought that was. I thought the opening score actually worked. You know, you get that impact at the beginning. It's like, wow, this has a chance of being a serious movie.
Yeah.
You hear all of these things about Fantastic Four, 1994's Fantastic Four, and how shitty it is, and how budget it was, and how crappy it looks, and then you're introduced to these title sequence with this huge score, and you're like, wait a minute, there's something behind this. There is a level
Yeah.
of production that you can feel immediately.
It really speaks volumes as to how much a score helps a picture, because they're not screwing up the visuals, but they do just enough visually that this sound really carries it through, and you're like, this is kind of big.
Yeah.
This is big.
This must be important. So, very, very elaborate and impressive title sequence. We are introduced immediately to Reed Richards, of course, the leader of the Fantastic Four. He's in college.
Ferguson from Biggles Adventure in Time.
Ferguson, yeah, sure, whatever. You're
Why
just
is he
never
so
gonna
old?
you're never gonna let Biggles go, are you, Sam?
Well, I think I just need to bite the bullet and pick that my one of my next picks. But
why is he so old? He's in college.
he's in college.
He's a college student.
No, okay, so I'm
Why
just gonna
is-
say this now. This was fucking weird.
I know where you're going. Let me
Okay,
get
okay.
there. So
Well, we
they're
gotta get
in
there.
college, him and Victor Von Doom, and I think I couldn't really tell if Ben Grimm was there as well.
Ben was like on the football team. He had a Letterman's jacket. He was sitting next to him in
Yeah,
class.
he was seated next to him, and Victor was behind.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
they're all in this super science class. Like,
And Commandant Lassard is teaching.
I was thinking that there was going to be more Commandant
I
Lassard
was
in this
really pissed that there wasn't more Commandant Lassard.
film. Basically, is only in this one
But
scene.
he's a guy at that time too that's like, I'll show up for a day. I'll lay it thick like you want, and then I'm fucking out of there when I grab a
He
sandwich
Is super thick.
and a
He
generic
is-
soda.
He gives the most riveting bullshit science class that I have ever, like, time is a matter of space and a constants that you can feel inside, and if we can only capture our own ability to become one with the ways of the universe, we can change the future.
I liked his drawings.
Yeah, his
His eyeball drawing was the
eyeball
best.
drawing, yeah, his illustrations.
Yeah, that's what good.
He really hammers it home, but Reed and Victor Von Doom are also doing their own sciencey thing. They've got
I guess is in college under an assumed name because the whole like Doom thing, not putting it together for a while. He must be like Victor von Ecclestein.
yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
don't get it.
I
for a
am
while.
definitely not the supreme ruler of the country Latveria.
And his minions who just pretend like they're playing chess outside, I guess.
I am
Well,
just like you, Earthman.
Exactly.
So,
Well, that actually, I don't know if it's too early to burn a question or not.
no,
it's
anytime you got
never-
one, go ahead.
Because this is what puzzled me about the plot. Well, first off, you're asking why this movie's a stinker. You've got one person that's even recognizable in this whole thing. It's Punky Brewster's father, and they burned him off in the first 30 seconds. So right there shows you why it has to be a problem. But they're walking through the commons, and you got the two Russian guys playing chess and eyeing Victor, from a distance.
They're giving the ooh face.
Now, this is before Victor's been, injured,
Transformed.
wounded.
Yeah.
There you go. It would indicate that these are the guys that kind of have picked out Doom. They're like, he's our guy.
Oh, so he's not the supreme ruler of the country of Latveria at this point.
That's where I'm confused. That's my question is, why are they in the commons? Why are they watching Doom? Because at this point, he's just a college student working on their project. And yet, afterward, that's when they take him into the hospital, take him into the morgue, and then suddenly they become his minions somehow. That's where I was baffled.
I would have to say that I'm using previous knowledge. You have to bring something in here with you, but they're just sort of acting as bodyguards while he's going to college. So he's secretly still the ruler of Latveria, but he's going to college because this is the best college for science.
And Reed Richards is there.
And Reed Richards is
He
there.
is so smart that he knows in the future that Reed Richards will become his best friend and mortal enemy.
Which I know, it's
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Now you're going to burn one of my questions.
Bring it.
This is for all of the Fantastic Four movies. In the comic books, most of Doctor Doom's power is magic.
Sure.
You have all this bullshit anyway. What the fuck is wrong with magic? Why can't you put that in the movie? He's fucking magic.
You got a
Deal
guy
with
that's
it.
stretchy and a man wearing a rubber costume, Rocky guy. Why not magic?
Why not fucking magic?
I mean, their science is magic, essentially.
It is.
Their fucking whole mission to space is essentially about magic.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm with you. Just go with it.
It's fucking
He
magic.
has no superpowers in this film.
No,
Dr.
he
Doom has
doesn't.
none superpowers. He's just got minions.
He gets punched off of a cliff by a rubber hand.
Spoiler alert. So, back in College Town, USA, Sue Storm's mom, who's kind of a hottie as well, owns
I
a
don't know
boarding
about-
house.
she's not making
She is
the
quite
grade.
momish, okay. I'll give you that. She owns
Justin
a
likes the mom look. Yeah.
She has a serious case of the mom butt. She owns a boarding house that Johnny and Sue apparently are the only renters of her children because you never see anybody else there. But Sue and Johnny are children at this point, and they're not even teens.
Can I just say it now?
Go ahead. Now it's time,
Now
Jackie.
it's time.
Oh
for
my
the
god,
pedophile
this was
business.
so jacked up. So she's like maybe 11.
I don't give her. she does not have double digits in my mind. I think she's less than
I think
10.
11 is fine. It
And,
doesn't matter.
You know, the brother
She's a
is
child.
like 8
Yeah.
or 5, and I love you.
You know, walking, as Sam says, you bring something into it with this film. You know that Reed and Sue are going to hook up.
Yeah.
I went, uh-oh.
So she's like, oh, he's so
Mhm.
dreamy about Reed. And I'm like, okay. Like, oh. And then Sam's like, you know that's going to happen later. And I'm like, no.
Icky.
And I'm like, ew.
It's
ew.
it's kind of icky. It's quite icky.
Yeah.
Even though nothing happens, it's quite icky because you know.
yeah.
It just doesn't set it up well. It's like, why is she so young?
If she had been a male boy, she would have had to have a trapper keeper covering up her secret boner.
Yes.
It was not okay. I didn't like it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they
So
wait until
They're in an
18.
orphanage, right? I mean, they're rooming house, boarding house. What was their situation?
Oh, you think that they were there for the boarding house, that they are orphans.
That's the only explanation I could come up
No, I thought that,
I thought that was
Johnny
their mom.
called the guy dad when they were playing video games.
No, that was Ben Grimm that he was playing video
with. Yeah,
games
that
with.
was. Yeah, I thought they were kind of like almost, doing a Big Brother thing or volunteering time or something.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell they're doing at this
Follow
boarding
that
house.
kind of
No
stuff.
idea
But, I
what's
mean, you got a
going on.
12-year-old girl that's not into One Direction, and she's into Neil deGrasse Tyson, and she's looking at him lasciviously. I mean, that's
With
I
her
think
secret
that tells you
boner.
everything. There's no parenting going on. Come on.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
And I will say, because, it does develop. But I thought that they said something about them being 18 when they were like, okay, let's take these 18-year-olds into space, which then the romance immediately happens. So then you have a guy who's 37, and
Sure.
he's like, okay, this is legal now. Let's go.
Well, just look at her.
Yeah, she made your hip.
Hey, yeah, you
Hit
are
list.
almost 37 years old, And you would travel back in time to have relations with an 18-year-old Susan Storm. So I don't want to hear any lip about.
Well, I think she was like 26 when the movie was shot.
No, whatever.
The actress, not the character here.
Back at Science University.
Science University, yes.
Reed and Victor are conducting science. They have no idea what they are doing. They
didn't
create.
say.
They're on top of the university in their own planetarium type thing with computers and switches and reel-to-reel machines and fancy equipment that has monitors.
Something that hangs from the ceiling.
Yeah, that makes lights outside.
And also, just time and space, the way they shot this, I feel like they're on the bottom floor of a building that has like 4 floors. And there's a hole in the roof and you can see the sky. So I'm not really sure. They didn't do a good job with that.
Yeah, I got the sense they were on top. But there's kids outside and they're like, whoa, what is going on with this science in the sky? And something goes awry. There's too much flux in their capacitor, per se. And the power comes back into the machine and zaps Doomy, Victor. He gets zapped quite much. But Ben Grimm is outside and he's like, Reed, I know what this is Reed's doing. What is it? What is Reed doing, Ben? Why do you even care? But he goes rushing in. Yeah, he's doing science. He's making pretty lights in the sky. He's entertaining the children out on the campus. He runs in and he's like, I gotta save Victor, and he dive tackles him, but it's too late. Doom has been undone.
He's doomed.
He's an ex-Victor.
Been zapped to the point that you never get to see it.
Do you have any theories on what it is that they're doing, Brad?
Getting blinded by science.
Yeah.
That was the other baffling thing, because this is this spectral event they called Colossus was arriving. Yes. They had their machine to harness, and they never said what the hell they were doing.
What is the end game here, boys?
And I want to know, do colleges do this sort of thing for like genius students? Just grant them a couple $1 million to build this machine that could fill up a gymnasium? I mean, what was it? What were they doing, and where did they get the money to do it? Is my question. I never figured out what they were trying to do.
Yeah, it's pretty vague. But Doom is in theory dead. But as we mentioned before, there's some Latvarian dudes that are and they steal his corpse.
He's not dead.
May or may not be corpse. He's led to believe to be dead. The Fantastic Four believe he is dead, or at least Reed does.
And these are why they're bodyguards, because they do a good job cleaning up that situation and getting him back to Latveria.
Indeed.
Well, the other reason why they got away with that is nobody is questioning a doctor wearing his surgical mask outside of the surgery room. I mean, they're wheeling him into the elevator and his eyes are shifting back and forth, and he still has the full face mask on. They're like, we'll take him to the basement because bye. Everyone's like, okay, cool.
Where are you taking him? To the incinerator that is in the basement, because you will never see this man again. Hurry, we must get out of here.
Where's the incinerator? It's next to the four-wheeler.
Yeah, right, exactly. Throwback to our Midnight Ride episode. 10 years later, they're now, as we mentioned, Ben and Reed are in their 30s-ish, maybe, I don't know.
So if it's 10 years later, we can actually put a date of 8 years old on Sue Storm.
Because she's 18, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
8-year-old child. Secret boners. Reed wants to go to space. And in order to do this,
he needs a couple of teenagers.
He needs some teenagers
that don't know shit about fuck.
They know how to hit some buttons.
Where? When? Why? Who? Why does he need these two?
Or a football player.
The football player was a pilot, Dix.
That's true.
He was gonna fly the plane. And the other two, well, she was a Miss Nebraska. I mean,
she's not Miss Nebraska in the movie. She's just some
bimp.
Yeah.
But hey, she's a hot bimp, and you know what? Every space crew, if you're gonna die in space, you better have a lady there.
So if you're gonna die, you should die with a boner, and it makes her feel better to have her brother there.
A case of the blue balls in space.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, I'm not taking a distraction while I'm in space. Sorry.
Well, is this supposed to be an official NASA mission that Reed is doing?
I don't think so. I think it's like the follow-up, like, oh, I failed on my Victor Von Doom Colossus experiment. I must accomplish this in Victor's name. Victor cannot have died in vain. I am freelancing science.
Science freelancing, yes.
I'm just curious as to who permits you to go out and just choose who you're going to fly into space with, like you're picking flag football teams. I'm going to go get Johnny and Sue.
I guess if it's your own spaceship, at that point, financing becomes the real, like, where did they get the money for this shit?
I don't think money's a problem in this film.
No, it isn't.
Because we later find
Well-
out that Reed has already built the Fantastic car. They're flying around in their...
That killed the last of my questions. When did that fucking happen?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
when did he build the Fantastic car? I guess during these 10 years of him thinking about Sue's behind, waiting for her to turn 18, and he's got to do science and build a car that can fly.
Well, just imagine how unproductive he's going to be after he buries that boner.
Yuck. So needless to say, he recruits Johnny and Sue, who still live at the boarding house.
That's because their mom lives there.
Well,
Is it her mom? We don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
dude, that's the
The
mom.
lady lives there. It feels like in this film they have not seen these people in 10 years. Since the last time we saw them, Reed has not seen them because there's hugs and like, oh, I'm so glad to have seen you boys. It's been so long. And then Sue does the classic teen slow walk down the stairs. Hubba, hubba, hubba walk through.
Yeah.
Now
And her brother's
Reed
a
has a
retard.
secret boner. What's wrong with Johnny? Other than Jay
He's-
Underwood can't act very good?
Yeah, he's the cocaine friend. And you're like, oh my god, I hate you. Like, every time he was on screen, I was like, if I was in the Fantastic Four, I would use my rubber hand to punch the shit out of you so you would shut up and go away.
To be honest, I thought that Jay Underwood kind of did Johnny Storm. I think that Johnny Storm is a douche.
Oh, he's a total douche.
And I thought that Jay Underwood really managed to encapsulate that. I thought that he
I prefer Chris Evans, personally.
I haven't seen that one
Yeah. I think Chris Evans was a quite good Johnny Storm. He's
so far.
I
flashy.
think, in the 2005 movie, he harnessed the Johnny Storm douche nozzle pretty good. I mean, he was pretty much insufferable bore, but in this movie,
spoiled.
yeah, just, he was like a frat boy with a budget.
There you go.
And here, yeah, this Johnny Storm was just I was going to be gracious and say over-caffeinated, but I'll go with the cocaine. That'll work.
Yeah, he's quite jittery. So they go off to do their thing. We then are introduced to the jeweler who lives in the sewers, and he is planning to steal this diamond that enacts Colossus, or I don't know what the diamond does. It's a big ass diamond. He's gonna steal a big ass diamond.
again, big ass diamond. And what happens to the big ass? I guess the big ass diamond isn't that important because after he steals it, kaput on the story.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Don't need the big ass diamond.
That looks like a pile of jello.
It was supposed to take in the heat and refract it out so that it could not.
Colossicize everything.
Yep, that's it.
There you go. The Colossus effect.
Yeah.
Well, I think this also cuts to the question of what the heck does Reed do for a living, because he's built this laboratory that pretty much rivals a Volkswagen plant, and the diamond that we're talking about is about the size of a plate of nachos. This thing would really make him his net worth had to be the
Zillions.
northern hemisphere.
Zillions.
Yeah.
Fuck Latveria.
They don't explain that. He marches into some building, they collect this massive diamond and walk out like it's no one's business. And where's all this money coming from?
He's selling nudie pics of Sue Storm.
Ew.
I just went to jail.
Well,
I just
Maybe
sent
it's-
myself to jail. God damn it. I do
You
that
know
on the
what?
internet at least twice a week.
Maybe it's, age of consent in that state is 16.
There you go.
I don't
Gross.
know that they, you still can't, I guess, sell the pictures. I don't know.
Alicia Storm, or Alicia... I don't know why.
Masters?
Yeah, I don't know why I call her always Alicia Silverstone every time. Alicia Masters is in the Baxter building. She is quite blind.
Especially because it is Alicia Silverstone.
Alicia Silverstone. No, this is Alicia Masters.
It is, yeah.
She's quite blind. She's
Alicia
walking around
Silverstone?
with...
Not on the time machine hit list.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. She's walking around with her sculptures. I guess she does she work there, or is she there to commission some of her art? Or
I believe that in the story world, prior to this event, she walks up and down the stairs with sculptures without dropping them,
Mhm.
and they fucked that up by by him doing
Ben
that.
Grimm's arms being too big for that stairwell.
Yes. So that her job is now to actually make the sculptures and not just carry them up and down the stairs post this event. I also wonder
It's life-changing.
why when you help someone off the ground, do you lift them into the air and twirl them as if they're the Lion King?
Hey, it's the
Simba.
circle of life. Okay?
All of this will be yours. This is the inside of a bank. It will never be either of ours.
If you're a blind, I'll burn a question here. If you're a
Okay.
blind lady and some guy bumps into you, and while you're walking around with a sculpture on some stairs, and then he proceeds to pick you up, weirdly,
Yes.
awkwardly, you have never met this man in your life. Do you then just instantly fall in love with him?
I don't know. Who in the hell says you're always going to be safe with me? I will
Yeah, but
always
I
keep
was-
you safe.
I was rather touched how he says that. Nothing will happen to you, and this is 30 seconds after he's knocked her on her teeth or destroyed her.
Nothing will ever
Oh,
happen.
so
to
now you're going to start being.
Starting now.
Yeah, ending now, because he walks up, there's nothing will ever happen to you during the 10 seconds that I'm twirling you in the air, disorienting you because you're blind. Now you have no idea where you are. It's like a fucking game of pinata. She just walked into the corner and she's stuck there now.
Put that all behind us. From this point forward, it's going to be golden.
Starting now. Okay, starting
Starting
now. Starting now. And then she gets kidnapped anyway, so it doesn't... Nice. Good work, Ben.
Yeah.
You're a real charmer.
I don't know. No.
Well, they're in love now.
Yeah, she's in love with him. He doesn't know shit.
Oh, I think he's quite smitten with the Alicia Masters.
Okay.
Yeah, he's smitten.
But, no, I don't think you say, nothing will ever... You will always be safe with me if you don't care considerably about that person that you have just met, don't even
By
know their
knocking
name.
over.
Yeah.
You know, as a lady, if somebody were to say that to me as they're twirling me in the air, I'd be like, rapist! And then I would
you would freak
I
the
would
fuck out. I'm
blow
being
the whistle,
attacked!
and I would spray them in the face with mace.
yeah.
Even if
It
you
starts
can
with a
see...
kick to the nuts.
If you could
Yeah,
see
dude.
this happening, you would freak out. Imagine if you had no sight and this was happening to you. You would be screaming for help.
I know.
Please, God, send someone to stop this giant man from breaking my body in half.
Or, and this is post-vom because you've got the motion sickness all of a sudden. So you're going to barf on him and then you're going to start screaming.
Right in his face. Anyways, Doom's also out to steal the Colossus, or he's eviling somehow. Like, oh, we must also be bad.
That sounds about right, because I could not understand him like
Actually,
50%
that's
of
what
the
we were
movie.
missing the boat on this. Wah, 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 wah.
Sir, I really want to do a good job for you. I
So-
mean, I'm trying to be the best minion I can possibly be. I can't hear a goddamn word you're saying. This is going to get me killed because you are not a malevolent ruler, or benevolent ruler, you are mean. You're a nasty man.
So-
If I fuck this up, you are going to kill me.
Yeah.
Could you really make it, could you write it down? What do
The
you want me
thing
to do?
is-
Just write it
Could you
down.
write
His
it down?
gloves seem
Can't hear you.
like they would prevent him from typing, and I don't know that I could hold a pencil wearing those. So basically, he's unable to communicate.
Maybe
At-
should try
in-
sign language.
in total.
Wait, that's
Oh.
that's why he's waving his arms around the whole time is
Yeah.
he's
I was gonna say,
signing.
I disagree completely. He communicates perfectly as a Power Rangers character. So whenever you're trying to get across, just wave your arms and gesture and point, genuflect like a mad dog and get your point across that way.
Just keep pointing at your
It's
fingers.
so true. Like when he's on the TV set and he's posting his threat to the Fantastic Four, and you could just see his face and then his hands get into the shot. Like, yeah,
I gotta make sure my hands are in this shit.
yeah, like, and he's doing all
Well,
these
yeah,
weird
he-
things with his hands, and I'm like, well, you know, at least they kind of get the gist of what's going on.
I am bad. Brr.
I liked how he outlined the screen with his fingers. Notice this little thing I'm talking to you on. You mean a TV screen? Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, Doom. Ah, man. I love Dr. Doom in this movie. So, the jeweler also is in love with Alicia Masters. He's going to steal the diamond, the world's largest diamond, to give to her so that he will win her love.
I will say, before we get too far into the dissecting the jeweler, I think the Ninja Turtles did a better job with the place.
Yeah.
I think it was better when they were done. Like they,
The guys from Cobra may have even...
yeah, like when they get that sublet, they're like, "Well, this is what happened for." Like, "Oh, you know what? We've got better ideas than the guy that lived here before because this is shit."
Well, it is the sewer.
And why are you giving a blind lady the world's largest diamond?
This will
That looks like-
fix our love together.
Yeah,
She
she's
can sit
fucking
on it.
blind. She doesn't see
Wait,
the diamond.
What is this? It feels like a plate of nachos.
Yeah, and she's not gonna know.
I just have to say though, the jeweler, God, I hated that son of a bitch. He struck me like one of those dinner theater actors from someplace like Clovis, New Mexico, where they just, act to the last row and they think every single thing that they say is important. Like, my beautiful people, shut up, you monologuing piece. Oh God, he derailed the movie.
Yeah, he was terrible in the window where he turns and does the profile monologue. That was awful.
I'm going to burn a question here, and I'm hoping that you can help me with this, Brad. Why the jeweler? Why not the mole man?
Actually, that's something I did dig into a little bit and came up completely empty because a lot of people were understand, we're talking 15, 20 years ago. With the research I was doing, what was available, but people said, yeah, why'd they change him to the jeweler? There's no answer. I mean, he's pretty much got the same set, the same motivations, everything as the mole. They just changed his name.
Just his name. He could have quite easily have been called the Mole Man.
Yeah, and that's...
Well, the Mole Man is a stupid character name. We can't put a stupid character's name in this movie. What about you? What's your thoughts, Mr. Fantastic? I mean, sure, he's got a dumb name. It's this movie. I think the Mole Man is a perfect fit in this movie.
Would have been, but here's the other thing. Is in the brand new one, Tim Blake Nelson, go back a couple of years ago, he was announced originally to be in the role of the Mole Man, and that never panned out either.
No, the character's name, or I can't remember Mole Man's real name, but that character is in the new Fantastic Four, but Mole Man is not. Just the guy that becomes Mole Man is in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he was we must turn these guys into weapons. We must weaponize these fantasticals.
Oh,
yeah, he was the military wonk throughout the movie, but then he dies at the 3/4 mark or something. So that never even panned out.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
None.
See, and if you're like me and you haven't read any of the comics, you don't know any better, and so you just think, well, that asshole's dead.
Well, the jeweler, he pulls the old switcheroo on the diamond, takes the real one and puts in a fake one. Also looks exactly like the real one.
So, laser security is
system.
Invisible so that you can't see it, but this one isn't, making it quite ineffective.
Yes, he just simply walks over the lasers.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to do the Catherine Zeta-Jones ass crawl thing.
No
or
glasses.
The Mickey Dolenz super kooky angles to walk through the lasers. He just purely steps where the lasers are not.
Spraying aerosol, something to explain why you can see the lasers. These are just totally visible security lasers.
You know, they're shitty lasers because you can just walk through the gigantic holes in
huge
between
holes.
them. It's like when they were doing security, they're like, we could save like $100 if we just kind of skip out on some of these lasers. And they're like,
I think this speaks to Reed being technologically incompetent throughout this movie. The lasers are ankle high, and we have no lasers surrounding the diamond itself.
Yeah. And one section of the room is on lasers.
Provided he actually touches the laser, all that happens is the garage door won't close.
Yeah, indeed. It opens back up.
It opens back up.
For safety. Reed's very concerned about getting sued, so he doesn't want anybody injured with his security lasers. So he pulls the old switcheroo. He's got the real one, puts in a fake one. The Fantastic Four now are going to space, and they've brought the plate of nachos, shiny plate of nachos with them, but it's a fake, and so they conduct the science with the Colossus, and it backfires and gives them superpowers.
So I'm going to burn a question. Why does it... Okay, so the jeweler lives in pretty much the sewer, right?
I don't think it's pretty much. I think it is
the
the sewers.
Okay, so he lives in the sewer. He obviously doesn't have access to anything. Great, right?
Sewage.
How does this guy end up with a fake plate of nachos diamond?
He steals it from the lasers.
He walks over the lasers, Jackie.
No. How does he end up with the replacement one, though, that he sneaks in?
Oh, where does he get the phony?
He's got a bunch of guys in a Jell-O mold, apparently.
Yeah, okay. He's got sewage.
Well,
he's got access to sewage. We know that. And so maybe he just took some old shit and formed a Jell-O mold and
polished a turd
and put it on the
Yeah,
thing.
I did not get this at all. How is it possible?
Jackie, you bring up a good point because later, recall, there's a scene, I think right when they break out of the facility, after their powers, where Sue Storm says, nobody else knows about the diamond and nobody else knows about your experiment.
Except for Doom.
How the heck did the jeweler get a cubic zirconia copy of the diamond he couldn't possibly know exists? I mean, it's,
yeah, dude,
I think it's a plot hole.
Yeah, it's like, you live in a sewer. How did you get that?
Before we get too far past the point, did everyone else notice that the spaceship that was landed and the spaceship that flew through space were two completely different spaceships?
Wait, the spaceship landed? It
No,
seems like it explodes.
Didn't land when it was pre-takeoff, sorry.
Okay.
Pre-takeoff spaceship and spaceship flying through space didn't look anything alike. Not even the same colors.
I just laughed really hard when
Maybe
that part
it
happened.
also transformed because of Colossus
Oh,
and then exploded. And
I'm going to
then-
go with stock footage being a lot cheaper.
it was actually some stuff from Battle Beyond the Stars. They just used that shit over and over and over again.
Well, the Fantastic Four make it back to Earth after their ship explodes, and I guess they just land safely. Gravity has no effect on their superpowers.
They're anti-gravity. That's the unspoken. Because Sue Storm's force field bullshit shows up for once right at the end. Like, what else do they got, right?
They all have anti-gravity powers.
Otherwise they'd be dead. Quite dead.
They should be quite dead.
Quite dead.
I think, actually, I'm going to say no. I think it's implied that their ship explodes, but the area where they're at, they are able to crash land.
When Ben Grimm goes to pick up Reed Richards, he's like, let me get this off you. And there's like one thing on him, and then all the other stuff he picks up is just around him. Like, let me move this stuff around so that you can sit up.
Well, either way, any landing you can walk away from is a good one.
Launchpad McQuack.
Yeah, Launchpad McQuack. One hell of a pilot.
Not good at landing.
Not good at landing, but
Greatest American Hero had that same problem.
Yeah, that's true. Neither's Reed Richards, but they're all okay. Johnny now can sneeze fire, as we mentioned. They can't see Sue. Where's Sue? Nobody even asked, hey, wait a minute, where the fuck is Sue? But she's there. She's invisible.
No, they are all very happy to be alive.
They're
and do
broing
not
out.
Give a shit about her.
No, they don't.
Not one bit. Like, they completely fucking forgot
She
that
might as well
existed.
be invisible.
That's why, later on when they talk, oh, you're so shy, it's like, this is her whole life, standing in the corner, not getting noticed.
With her secret boner for Reed.
Yes.
But, yeah, she's there. She's invisible. Reed stretches out to, like, she falls over backwards in shock, and he has to use his stretchy arms to save her from landing on some shrapnel. Yeah, leftovers. So he has powers, but Ben is quite unaffected, other than not being injured during a space shuttle crash that has exploded. But he's alright.
I did not get that part.
That
They crashed the spaceship.
Or
No,
that
I got
Ben
that
doesn't
part.
have any superpowers at this point.
I was like, well, yeah, that Ben didn't have any superpowers, and then he laid down on the ground to go to sleep,
Takes
and
a
then he woke up as a rock man.
Yeah, I don't really understand his transformations ever in this film.
I didn't
Well, he
get it.
shouldn't be able to turn back and forth to begin with.
It's kind of like he's the Hulk. Like, he has an emotional reaction and then
Yeah.
things change. But not in the comic books. He's just a man of rock.
Yeah, he's like, in this, it's, I have a heart made of stone, but then she melts it with her love,
But-
which is very inopportune.
Yeah.
Sam, he is a rock. He is an island.
Oh, God damn it, Jackie.
Go Simon
No
and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel is always welcome in my house.
God,
I like
whatever.
Simon and Garfunkel.
I give
Everybody
you
likes
a
Simon and
podcasting
Garfunkel.
high five, Jackie.
Yeah.
God damn.
I just thought she was going to say something that she was impressed that he joined the Stones.
Heyo. Well, Doom is behind it all. Doom has been the one pulling the strings all along. Ugh,
Except
me.
for the jeweler's strings.
No, I think he's financing the jeweler.
Well, no, he isn't, because in that scene, they're like, what's this doofus doing in there? And they're like, well, looks like he's going to steal the diamond, because they can see inside the ultra security room. And they're like, oh, let him do it. That was our end game anyway. Let's just let this freelancer handle this for us.
Well, Doom is now happy, but he knows that they are alive. Like, yes, I have defeated Reed, but oh no, they survived the landing. Well, sir, our intel says that they survived. Whose intel? Like, where are you getting this information?
That was my question. Because throughout this movie, Doom is able to be as evil and powerful because of remarkable amount of surveillance. I mean, he had surveillance inside the jewelry store to watch them transfer. He had surveillance inside Reed's laboratory somehow. Now they're able to find marooned people in the middle of nowhere that NASA or the military.
I would thought that he was monitoring him in space as well.
Well, let's
True.
put it this way. The Monarch would give his left arm for henchmen of Dr. Doom's quality.
And
He has got excellent henchers
yeah, he not only has he got the surveillance, he can just show up on any TV whenever he wants.
whenever he wants.
So
He's like satellite man.
I am Satellite Man. What are your powers? I can be on television whenever I choose.
So I'm gonna.
Except when they show him on the throne, he's like surrounded by two flaming cauldrons and nothing else.
Yeah, Doom, your house is on fire.
But there's no, where's the camera? Where's
Yeah.
the monitor? How are we seeing him all the time when he's on his throne of magnitude of nothing?
It's an order of magnitude of nothing.
It is. Like,
That's what I would call it.
you sit up there for like 2 seconds and you go, yeah, there's nothing to do in this room.
I could laugh maniacally again. It just
Yeah.
did that though.
Yeah.
Huh.
Why is that shit on fire?
I think I'll go downstairs and watch some tube.
Yeah.
So I'm going to burn a question.
Yeah.
The military comes to pick them up.
Uh-huh.
How do they end up in Dooms?
Because it's not the military, Jackie. It's henchmen.
Yeah, it's henchmen. These are good henchmen.
They are the
Until
best
it
henchmen ever.
comes to fighting.
Yeah, well, you can't ask for
You
everything.
can't ask
You
for
shouldn't send your
everything.
henchmen out to
Well,
fight. You should be
that's
good at fighting yourself.
labor diversification is Doom's problem at this point. He should have these henchmen are perfectly, from a clerical standpoint, they're perfectly capable of everything.
I bet you Doom's books are spot on.
Spot on.
Always in the black.
Now, that's the problem, is sending accountants out with guns. It just doesn't work.
No. Men in ties shooting guys does. Mm-mm. Well, Alicia is back at Baxter Building, and she's been commissioned to build a memorial to the Fantastic Four, because now all of Earth knows that they were superpowered and heroes, and
They had
that they're
molds
dead.
of they're like, oh, so you're gonna fly into space with this Jello mold and get the magic, huh? You know what? We should make some moldings of your faces.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Then we can have a blind. In case you die, we can have a blind lady.
In
Then
case, because we don't think you're not gonna blow
What
up.
is she gonna?
Whoa.
She's a sculptor. What is she gonna do with these molds? Just attach them onto her sculptor?
I guess
mean,
she feel like it's a carbon copy. She feels it up nice, and then I don't know. You think you just give them? You got me, bud.
yeah, I don't.
I think it's just like the government, too, to commission sculpture from a blind person.
Yeah, it's unnecessary government spending. So she's like, "No, they can't be dead. I met them in a stairwell one time. Oh no, Ben!" But
Well, she doesn't care about anybody else. Just Ben.
yeah, well, the jeweler's there to nab her. He's gonna get her, give her the super diamond and win her love. But to do that, he must send his henchmen in to kidnap her.
These are
He's
just
also got good henchmen.
These are like bad leprechauns.
They are shitty leprechauns.
Shitty leprechauns.
Well, he
That's-
sends 8 people. It takes 8 people to kidnap a blind woman.
Yes, who probably isn't real sure where she's at currently.
I'd say maybe 2 in real life. 1 to distract, 1 to grab her. Done.
Distract. Like he's got like a spoon and a pan. I'm over here. And then grab her quick.
Only pay attention to these sounds, blind person. So yeah, the Fantastic Four get rescued by Doom's henchmen, and they're taken to Castle Doom, where they are given the superpower Inquisition. Like, oh, well, what can you do? Well, I can shoot boogers out of my nose that are on fire. And, oh, well, I can turn invisible. Well, can you turn your clothes invisible? No, not. If I turn my clothes invisible, I also turn invisible. You are never going to see me naked, because that's what they're thinking. I promise you. Well,
Oh.
for clothes just turn invisible.
Right, because the doctor is like, give me a blood sample.
Yeah. This part I fucking love. Is the doctor's like,
The doctor.
the doctor's like, I need a blood sample. And he's like, take your own blood sample or something. Like, I don't know why, but reads across the room and he's like, okay. Stretches out his arm and grabs it. I love Alex Hyde-Scott, or what
Alex Hyde-Smith.
Smith in this film. He's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Indeed. He's Mr. Fantastic. Looking.
Oh,
He's cheesy, silly. It's fantastic. I love him. So, back at the jewelers, the Dr. Doom's henchmen have come in to get the diamond, I guess. And not. I don't think that they want Alicia Masters. I think that they're there for
They're
the
for
diamond.
the diamond, but if you're evil, you just fuck shit up anyway, right?
Yeah.
You gotta, you let this guy freelance, but you gotta let him know who's in charge. Like, okay, you stole this, we let you steal this, but now I gotta show you who boss is. My accountants are gonna come in here and just shoot up the whole place.
My accountants are going to shoot up your accountants.
Your accountants are getting shot by my accountants, and,
Crappy leprechauns. Let's be politically correct.
are they leprechauns?
Kind of. They're short.
really- the
Yeah.
one guy's kinda tall.
Yeah, the skinny guy, yeah. But
There's a
real.
lot of diabolical fingers.
Yeah.
Diabolical fingers.
Oh, yeah, like when they tie Alicia Masters up and they're like, do naughty things to her, and the guy pans in and he's like, man, with his fingers, like, ooh, I'm being sinister with my hands, blind person who can't see what
Yes.
I'm doing.
I feel like that's going to be a directorial decision because of how many people are different people doing the diabolical fingers. Like, That's the thing.
I would like to do some of the diabolical fingers. Well, you don't have much of a role in this film, but come on, I'm a henchman. I'm the leader of the henchmen. All right, do this
Yeah,
one thing with
like,
your
they
diabolical
stop the
fingers.
production and it gets on the bullhorn. Anyone who wants to do the diabolical fingers has a go-ahead to freelance with diabolical fingers.
Everybody else, enjoy this generic cola.
They went over the top with the hand acting.
Yeah.
With the mole guys, oh man, they put Brad Pitt to shit.
No, I thought Joe Culp, towards the end when he's just holding the pose where he's pointing at his fingers, like,
Joe
through
Culp,
3
who
shots.
played Dr. Doom.
Yeah, like, whoa, what is going on with the hands, buddy?
Yeah. Well, the henchers are unsuccessful. They do not get the diamond, but they beat up some of the guys. And, yeah. So the Fantastic Four are back at Doom's place, and they hatch a plan to break out. They get into some action. They introduced to some powers, and Reed can fight and punch guys stretchy, and Ben Grimm's giving clobbering time, and Sue's doing whatever
Standing
she
there.
does. Oh, she just
turns invisible.
she makes
and
2
then
guys run into each other
Yeah.
because she's invisible, and Johnny's not even doing anything
He's
with
trying
his
to
flame
burn
powers.
through
He's
the
burning
wall.
a hole. Yeah,
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
Ben Grimm
work.
has to do it for him,
he just punches.
just like the comic.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. He should have just been lighting guys on fire, not the wall.
We doesn't want to kill him yet. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you take a turn for the worst when you're like, okay, my power is fire. If I take action here against these accountants, and this turns out to be a different situation than I think, that's murder.
And then we're
I
just in a
just
room
burned
filled with
these men to
flaming
death.
accountants.
Yes. And it was a confined area. It would smell terrible.
Well, Doom.
I enjoyed it too, where Reed comes up to Johnny, he's like, "All right, you burn through the wall, we'll cover you." How exactly? You have no weapons, you're not doing anything, and you're outnumbered about 20-1. Cover him how exactly? But somehow they do.
With Stretchy.
With punches.
He didn't even do that though. They just kind of like walked away.
Yeah. Well, they
I
know.
bet.
They know that Doom is coming. Doom must do this on his own. He walks in and he starts monologuing and blah, 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 I'm evil. Blah, my motivations are questionable at best. Blah, 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 blah. And he then sends in his other questionable choice as far as characters in this film. Not Doombots, but Doom gun guys. Why doesn't he have Doombots?
I saw that their faces were painted silver in one shot.
I did not see that.
So what I was thinking is that it was one of those decisions that never got made. Like, are they guys or are they bots? And then eventually it was just like, they're just on screen. Draw your own conclusion.
We'll give them guns.
And I screwed it up because it's Alex Hyde-White, not Alex Hyde-Smith.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to give them masks, and then Todd went out and bought name brand cola, so we didn't have the money for it anymore.
Thanks, Todd.
Stupid Todd.
Now we have to drink generic cola, and we can't look cool.
And it was probably RC. So it was like the taste of generic cola with the cost of a name brand.
Yeah, they didn't even get, like, Coke or Pepsi, and then Corman's like, you morons can't even fuck up my money properly.
Yeah, you're fired.
Here.
And this soda still sucks.
Here is actual generic cola. It's just a soda bottle, white label, that says cola on it.
The
dickheads.
Shasta
That's
actually
how you
tastes
fuck it up.
better than this crap, goddammit.
So, they bust out, get back to the Baxter building, and Reed puts it all together that they've earned their superpowers because of their psychology. That Reed is stretchy because he's always stretched himself too thin, and
But
Sue is invisible because she's shy, and Johnny's always been kind of a hothead, and
Ben's a rock, and we're not really sure about that.
yeah, he's.
Well, he is. That's,
I don't know how he's so smart. Why can't he put it together? Like, you're a rock because you're my friend. You've always been you are a rock in my life.
You've got friend power.
He's like a Care Bear.
Fuck.
He's got a tummy that you rub and it shoots out lasers.
Oh, Jesus.
Or maybe he was moonlighting laying paver driveways.
Wow. Superpowers. Concrete.
Superpower handyman. Handyman powers.
What's
you
your
punch
power?
that
I have
guy.
a hammer.
You be invisible. You go build some stairs. There's complex angles in stairs, goddammit.
Only you can do it. Well, Ben Grimm doesn't like being the Thing. He puts on a poopy face and goes walking around town. Oh, no one understands me. Whoa. I thought he was going to go to Yancey Street.
I
He never
didn't
goes to
really
Yancey
understand this. Like, how long do you think they've been gone?
Street. It seems
Like a week,
since they left
maybe?
Castle Doom.
Yeah, well, so
Minutes?
they take the spaceship into space. How
Uh-huh.
long is it before They're back at the
Baxter
tower.
building? A week? Yeah.
A week. So Ben's apartment is probably still paid through the end of the month. Why is he just going to be like, I'm going to go sit by a dumpster? Just go back to your house.
He can't face the bellboy.
He lost
the guy that works at the...
He lost the keys in the spaceship explosion.
Or maybe they're a part of him.
Oh no, he
They were in
pulled
his
his keys
pants.
literally out of his ass.
Yeah, exactly. They're inside there.
Huh.
They're covered in stone.
But he doesn't go home because he lost his keys.
Right. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's it. Now he has to live on the streets, be sad, and homeless people won't even look at him because he's a freak of nature. But Sue, meanwhile, is making some spacesuits because she also has sewing powers.
Sewing powers.
She also can make molecular compounds that will work for their individual powers, which actually takes place in the comics, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Go for it. Ben runs into the jeweler's henchmen, who are like, we have a solution for you, poopy pants man. You can come live with us in the sewers where we will care for you. You will no longer be an outcast of society, ugly guy. You can be living in shit.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem enthusiastic. He's like, well,
Meh.
I'll check this out.
I got nothing else going on.
Yeah, I guess I could go in there for a minute and just see. I mean, I guess you gotta see.
I could sit out here in the rain, or I could sit in the sewers with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he would have killed himself. He's like an Eeyore. Well, maybe I'll just go kill myself.
Maybe he
but then
tried.
He couldn't.
Nobody'll notice me.
Because he stabbed him, it broke the knife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. He
it
tried a
doesn't
couple of different things, and he was like, fuck.
I
I'm
can't
just-
even kill myself right.
I'm just going to have to hang out here
I'm
by
gonna
this
have
dumpster.
to go into the sewers now.
Yep.
The only answer for a man that can't kill himself because of his superpowers is to live in the sewers with henchmen. Clearly henchmen.
Yeah, and the guy, the head leprechaun or whatever, he's one of those guys that, like, he sees the treasure and everything. He's, like, wandering through a junkyard and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but I know it's something.
Yeah. He's got Ben Grimm now. He's got a thing on his team.
Yeah, what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Well, figure that out. You know,
He doesn't look like he eats much.
That's point A, or that's point B. Just think of it like this. We're at point A. Point B is somewhere else, but we got point A.
Back at the Baxter building, Reed has figured out that Doom and Victor are the same guy. Good for him.
Should have figured that out a little faster.
Speaking of Doom, he's gone into the sewers again. Himself. Doom has appeared in front of the jeweler. I need my plate of nachos. Give me the jello mold. And he brings out Alicia Masters, and he's like, I will kill this woman. And Ben Grimm shows up and is like, oh, hey, how dare you take Alicia Masters from me? And so Ben Grimm is now back to being the Thing because he loves...
So he has to run away.
Yeah.
There's-
Or no, his love transforms him into
Man.
a man, not a thing.
Yeah. But then he realizes how to become the Thing again, and then he goes back to
Yeah,
the...
But
the
there was
Baxter
my
building.
favorite sequence in here where Ben is just trying to get away, and Doom commands one of his men, kill him, and from 10 feet away, fires about 10 bullets, misses, Ben gets away, and then Doom says, let him go.
Yes.
And that
I
transformed inside of about 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
No, when we were watching the movie, I was likening him to, like, when you have a dog, you're like, go over there, now spin around, crap on the ground. Yep, he does everything I say. Like, he's just out of control, and he's just he's commentating on what they're doing, rather than actually giving them instructions.
Stand on one leg and bark like a dog.
Yeah.
No, a big dog. It's very coming to America. Well, he goes back to the Baxter building and tells Reed and team, Doom has got Alicia and the rock that we like. And so we gotta go to Castle Doom and do all this over again. So they take the Fantastic Car back to Castle Doom, where they just were. They break into the laser room, head laser room, because Doom has built a laser that if you put the Jello mold in,
Can
will
shoot. Now, this is...
will shoot
this
nuclear
is
energy?
This is as dubious a thing as there is, because the one thing, because this movie's like, science! You learn in 3rd grade that light can't turn a corner.
Yeah, sure.
That laser makes an arc to hit New York.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But it
has to come from space.
It has to
He
come from
is
space.
satellite, man. Why not have a fucking
Yeah.
satellite, right?
Or just giant mirrors out there. Why not?
So- yeah, giant mirror, but it's still a satellite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sue, they all get put in force fields. Doom comes out and monologues some more.
All 4 of them had to stand together because the tractor beam was in a fixed position.
Yeah. Stand on the marks.
Yeah.
There's like these
They
X's.
all four had to hit their mark in order for Doom to conquer.
Yeah, it's not a room of force field. It's just tubes of
Yeah.
force field.
After it happens, the head henchman looks at him and is like, I did not think that was going to work. And then Doom turns to him and is like, neither did I.
Thank God we did that.
Wow, that is... Oof.
Reed punts the laser. He stretches out from underneath the force field and punts it, kicks the laser to bits. They all start punching each other. Henchmen come in and, oh no, Doom's getting away and the laser's armed and it shoots its laser into air.
Air.
Yeah, it's traveling not at the speed of light, but at the speed of this particular laser. So Johnny Gust has to go out chasing after it, and this is the first time he goes all flame. We get.
I didn't think this was going to happen.
I didn't think it was going to happen either. That Johnny was going to go all
I thought
flame.
they were cleverly covering a special effect or a visual effect they couldn't do.
And they couldn't do it. They had to animate it, which I'm
Well, I mean,
totally fine with.
I'm fine with that too, but I didn't even think they had it in the budget for the animation. Is what
Yeah.
I was saying. Like, I thought they were just going to do the same shit. Like, he's going to shoot the
Fireballs
wall
and booger.
4 or 5 more times.
Yeah.
Because that's all they had for it.
I thought that too.
You guys are avoiding the big thing here.
Mm.
He took a laser in the butthole.
He does outrun the laser, and he
Yeah, his
uses
animated
his
character,
butt to stop it.
it takes it in the butthole.
But either way,
He is better looking than the computer animation in Johnny Mnemonic.
indeed. I had no problem with cartoon Johnny Storm fighting a laser. None.
I mean, the tumble was a little clunky.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all a little clunky, but you time and place, look at it next to the other computer animation, and it's on par with it. Yeah.
I don't think this is computer animation, Sam. I think this is hand-drawn animation.
No, that was the same.
Doing it old school.
It might have been a combo.
Brad, thoughts on the animation?
Yeah, I wish I was around back when this was made to judge it a little better. Looked pretty bad. I mean, when he finally flamed on, and it's like, wow, that's kind of like a car rental commercial level animation right there.
Car rental.
That's what
Did you happen to notice exactly how long it took for that laser to be shot? Because I was under the impression lasers travel at the speed of light.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, at the beginning of the movie, the first thing is a discussion on the speed of light.
Indeed.
So they should have paid attention
okay.
to that. Yeah. So it's a very slow traveling laser.
There is time for Reed to kick Doom off of a building before this laser makes it to from Latveria to New York.
And it
Well,
travels.
actually, I went back and clocked it from the time the laser was shot to the time Johnny intercepts it in mid-sky. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. That's not a laser.
Yeah, I don't think
It makes an arc, and it takes 4 minutes to get to New York.
I think the sun's light hits Earth in 4 minutes.
I don't know the figures on that.
I'm pretty sure the sun is farther away than
Oh,
Latveria.
yeah. Well, I know that if you're talking on the phone to somebody in England, it doesn't take 4 minutes. It takes about 4 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's true. Anyways, so Ben and Alicia meet in the building, and they have their romantic moment. Oh, they're just kissing and much rejoicing. And hey, my name's Ben. Hey, my name's Alicia. I love you. We've been in love since I injured you in a hallway down some stairs. Duh. But Reed is beating up Doom, and he's stretching, punching, and kicks him off the building. Where if Doom had any superpowers, now would have been the time to use them. He doesn't. He falls to his doom. Johnny beats the laser up. Sue and Reed wed. Credits. Yay! Oh, Reed sticks his hand out the limousine, stretchy arm.
That's a good special effect.
Great.
I liked that a lot.
Credits. Give me your questions, everybody.
I think
we'll
asked
start with
all of
Brad. Do you have any more questions?
Did they ever establish why Doom was shooting a laser at him? What was the motivation behind that?
Yep, that's my motivation, or that's my question again. What is Doom's motivation? Why anything, Dr. Doom?
Yeah,
He was burned.
that missed me, and then and also too, why did they have to send Johnny to go intercept the laser instead of doing something right there and maybe destroy the machine itself?
Sue puts a
Unplugging
force
it.
field in front of it.
Unplugging it.
Unplugging it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say I'm not a superhero myself. I want to go on the record, but I would have maybe attached a little bit of concentration on the source rather than chasing a laser.
No, I agree. That was a poor execution.
And then the other aspect I love too is right after Victor fell to his death, where Reed grabbed his glove and then it was sitting on the ledge there and starts walking.
Yeah, what happens to the glove? That's my
The
question.
hand-moving glove. The still-alive glove of Dr. Doom.
Well, I just think it's great that it means we had a movie that had the Thing and Thing from Addams Family.
Oh, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's a good connection.
Beautiful.
It was very Skeletor sticking his head out of the liquid goo at the end of Masters of the Universe. Just wait for the sequel. I'm not dead, or at least my glove isn't. But that sequel's never coming, buddy.
Yeah. Well, apparently the prequel didn't come. There wasn't anything to sequelize.
Yeah.
This was not a thing.
My question is, and I know what the answer is, but I want you guys to really think about this. Is this the best superhero movie of the 90s?
No, Batman was better.
Batman was 1989.
89. I enjoyed it more than Batman Returns.
I
It's
will go
better
with there.
than any of the post
Batman
Keaton
Forever
Batmans.
stinks.
Post-Keaton
Batman and Robin
Batmans are
obviously
terrible.
is shit. Jackie,
What are my options?
you come up with them.
90s.
Mystery Men, The Mask, The Steel with Shaq. That's not good.
No, these are all worse than this, and they made it onto the screen. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, Avi Arad maybe watches this before he orders it destroyed and is like, it isn't any worse than the rest of this shit.
Brad, thoughts? Can you name a better 90s superhero movie than this one?
I'm gonna be hard pressed. You said 90s, right?
90s.
Yes.
Might lean on Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire.
That's not good.
That-
Only because
oof.
I just love the bastardization of a classic movie by Pam Anderson. But this was. I'll tell you why I really like this film is that it was kind of a bridge production because it had some of those values from the 80s and 70s. It had some of the advanced storytelling. It was kind of a missing link of sorts where you got a little bit of both worlds, the old school and the new school.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was purely enjoyable. I mean, a lot of garbage in it, but at the same time, there was so much quality in there too. I mean, you got some good acting, you got the great score, and it just had a lot of good elements with this bargain basement budget that they really overperformed on this thing.
It is clearly better than 1990s Captain America by leaps and bounds.
By leaps and bounds.
By anybody's judgment. Not even bad movie fans. It is quite much better than Captain America from 1990. I have one movie from the 90s, a superhero movie that may be better. Blade. That's the only one that
Is
I
that
can come
90s?
up. Yeah,
Is it
98.
98? Yeah, Blade is much better. Blade is actually
that's the only one that I
sort
can
of
think of.
You can actually lump that in with a decent enough superhero movie. I would actually, because I think it's viewed as, not as poorly as anything, the Lundgren Punisher isn't
1989.
really 99.
Nope, 1989.
89. God damn it.
Not a 90s superhero movie. Sorry.
I like the Mystery Men better than I liked this.
Oh,
Mystery Man.
shit. How dare you? I loved Fantastic Four.
I loved it too.
loved it. I
would have watched this
not
a
even
lot.
sarcastically. I fucking love this movie.
Because of the, a 12 or 13-year-old me, when this would have been released, already has a fond, loving view of Biggles' Adventure in Time, so I'm already on board with him as Reed Richards.
And we know you've got secret boners at the age
well,
of 13.
she would
so.
be, had a 13-year-old me seen Rebecca stab, Terry Garr might not be sitting on top of the pile.
Yeah.
The nostalgia factor
Been
may have taken that over, but
A severe lack of toilet paper in Sam's house.
we would have rented this at the video store, we would have made a dub of it, and I probably would have watched it 15 times.
Jackie, give me your, what do you think? You gonna recommend this one? You like it? Don't like it?
I'm riding the fence.
Oh, man.
Really?
Just can't figure you out.
I thought it was okay, but I don't know. The child
The
weirdness.
pedophile thing is just too much to
The
overcome.
start of the movie ruined for the rest of the movie.
that
for
it happens.
Yeah. I didn't. The kid thing, it just bothered
Yeah,
me.
there's
Bothered
some
the
things
shit
you-
out of me, and
you can't
I
get
just
over.
Yeah.
um.
That's a tough one to swallow.
And I thought that their Fantastic Four outfits were fucking stupid.
That's
I
what they
loved
look
them.
like.
I
That's
loved
they-
them.
They wore that for like 20 years.
I don't like it.
This movie, I will say, it's a fanboy's dream because, like, you want to stay loyal to the source material. Boy, howdy, they don't fuck around with it at all.
No.
But I don't know. I could take it or leave it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just, I'm riding the fence.
Yeah.
It's another one that, I wouldn't even put it in the category of if you have the flu.
Huh.
I couldn't even put it in that category because it's interesting enough where you want to watch it because there are some really good things about it. You wouldn't want to be sick and fall asleep because you'd miss something. But then again, I can't really say that I would be like, yeah, let's watch this baby.
Brad, your thoughts?
Oh, I definitely recommend it because this gives you both. I mean, if you're looking for like quality superhero aspects, it's in there. If you're looking for laugh out loud, bad movie stuff, it's in there too. I mean, you've got both elements going. So I think it's purely enjoyable for two reasons.
And we should never fail to mention, this is a historically significant film.
Yes,
it
because
is,
of its situation.
It sets up the future of superhero films. It sets up the future of bad movies.
It's the reason we went to the theater on Tuesday and watched another fucking shitty Fantastic Four movie.
Exactly. It's very important. It's a very important film. I think you cannot be a bad movie fan and have not seen it. I loved it. It's good. It's necessary. It's a must-view. Well, let's wrap this up, guys. I want to say thank you very much for joining us, Brad. It was great having you. You are always welcome to come back. Follow Brad at Martini Shark on Twitter. Anything else you want to plug?
Just got, probably got a new article coming out at cheapseatsview.com where I'm going to cover the top 10 most ridiculous marketing products I found with movies that come out over the summer. And it's got Bombs of Summer I listed on the same site. Go to maybe thefederalist.com. Check me out there. I got a 2,000-plus word article on Sharknado if you're interested in stuff like that. Otherwise, you can just see my rantings and ravings at Martini Shark.
Nice. Well, we'll be back next week with a new movie. It's Sam's pick. You got a prediction?
Not yet.
Okay, good work.
I'm hoping for a spooky pick.
Oh, yeah. Spooktoberfest.
Oh, shit. If I'm going to have to pull the trigger on a horror movie, I'm thinking it's going to be Halloween 3.
Okay.
Or 2.
Whichever. No, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. With,
Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins,
yeah.
And Stonehenge.
Yeah.
And happy Halloween, Halloween. Great
I
movie.
love that song.
Yeah. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, get to the chopper.
Wait, you didn't let Martini Shark say it.
Oh yeah, you want to give us your best get to the chopper there, Brad?
Maybe I'll just do a throwback to the voiceover guys. In a world, get back to the chopper.
Nice, I like it.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.